Alright, hello, Zetster here with a video on some Paladins characters. Now, to start off, I want to make a tier list, and this tier list will vary on expert opinion and some technical details about characters, complications about characters, new iterations of complications about characters, and a character's well-rounded skill. So, to start off this tier list, this is the beginning because it's unconstructed. Well, it is constructed, but it's constructed by me and not by a lot of pros. Now, as you can see, I have been playing this game for a while, so I do know a thing or two about this game. And I do know about a lot of aspects. I mean, I'm at least higher. I mean, with not with Sky, but I'm at least higher than level 6 with almost about every champion. So that pretty much puts me into a good standing point for opinions on every character. Then again, there's no good opinions, there's no bad opinions. Opinions are just opinions in the end. So don't take this tier list too seriously yet. On the competitive standpoint, I'm not too sure about this tier list. This tier list also adds in the complications of characters' cards only being able to hit level 4. Expect like on bounded modes, like ranked, because those are the modes you want to win. So put in a complication that every character has level 4 cards, and to begin the tier list. So to start the tier list, I'm just going to start with my second favorite role. Nah, it's probably my favorite right now. Frontlines. So, Frontlines. Who would be the best of Frontline in the game? I'll get to that a little bit later. But right now, who would be the worst Frontline? So, it's either a standoff between Terminus or Barrack. Terminus, if he doesn't get support, and this is what I mean, front lines without support. Who's the best front line who doesn't need support? Terminus kind of sucks without a support. Sure, he has Despoiler and that Blood and Stone card and, things like that. Of course, enemies can get cauterized. He does have We Can Rebuild Him to kind of counteract that cauterize. But other than that, his Despoiler has a very long cooldown. His drain doesn't last for too long and takes a while to charge back up. His Calamity Blast damage isn't too much. And, I mean, all around, he's not much of a good character. He has a melee attack, which a lot of people try to main him now because of the new aiming system. For some reason, a lot of people can't aim. I haven't really been affected by it, to be honest, but I know a lot of people have. So a lot of people are maining Terminus because of that reason. So out of a main list, I would probably put Terminus as the worst. Just probably. So Barrack would be the second worst, if that's the case. Barrack, now he's kind of good. He doesn't need a support. He's got turrets that can heal him, and he can heal the turrets. Of course, at level 4, the heals by the turrets, any sort of heal is useful, because even if you get 10 healing, sometimes you'll walk out of battle with 5 health left, and you'll be like, dang, that 10 healing really saved my life. So any type of healing could be useful. Even if it's cauterized, it can still be useful. He's got a very high health shield that he can put on the ground, and it's a very big shield. It doesn't move, and it can't really break. Like, the shield usually goes away before it's broken by other champions. So, very formidable shield. And that also could leave an extra spot for the card selection, because you wouldn't need the 500 extra shield health from the, shield health card. So, Barrack can also repair his own turrets. He can make it so if his turrets get destroyed, he heals. You know, he's got field deploy, accelerator field, which really helps for the team because it speeds him up. So he's a, you know, well-rounded frontline. He is the second worst frontline, but that doesn't mean he's a bad character. He's a very good character and a very formidable fighter. So next we have Makoa. Now Makoa's really good, especially if you have a team that can communicate. He's got a shell spin, and I know the level 4 cards have been nerfed. A while back in OB63, I used to have this very great shell spin card from Makoa at level 4, and every time you hit someone with it, it reduced the cooldown of shell spin. That used to be one of my favorite cards because if the whole enemy team was grouped up onto the point, I'd love to just shell spin left and right and heal by 700, maybe 1,000 every time I hit one enemy. And even if I'm getting cauterized, I'll still heal by 100, which is a lot. If you're hitting the whole team, you're healing by like 500, 500, 500, 500, and no one can really hit you easily because you're moving around freaking everywhere very quick. And I would always get resilience with Makoa because I wouldn't want to get stunned while doing my shell spin rituals. So he's very good for that reason. But since they nerfed him in this new update, he's not so good anymore. His Leviathan is really good. He has a lot of health with that card. That card is his best card in my opinion. Plucked is really good for killer Makoas. And Dutchman card is only really good on Team Deathmatch. Not Dutchman, Davy Jones Locker. I keep calling it Dutchman. It's probably because that Makoa skin. But, and Dutchman, Davy Jones, if I'm correct, they both are mythological sea characters. Or maybe not so mythological sea characters, but I'm not going to get into that. So, next we have Torvald. Torvald is another one of those characters. He doesn't really need a support. In fact, all the characters above Terminus don't need a support. Torvald is really good, does a lot of damage. He has that direct current that deals a whole lot of damage, especially with that direct, or no, he has a, what's it called, Nullify, that deals a lot of damage. And you have that direct current card that deals even more damage. I remember one time one of my friends who played Torvald used that card, and they said this is so much power, it legit feels like I'm corrupting the political corruption, because that's how much power it is. It's insane. It's crazy. He has that recharge or whatever it's called, and he has that legendary that lets it charge up for 1 more second, making you more of a formidable frontline. He's got a high health shield. You can increase his health normally. A lot of frontlines you can do that with. Besides Makoa, he doesn't have a card that can increase his health, so that kind of stinks. But he can increase his health. He has really good cards like Glyph of Siphoning, which makes it so if he gets an elimination, he gets shield back, which is really great, especially in modes like Onslaught or Team Deathmatch. But the main mode I'm focusing on is Siege. That is the main mode I'm focusing on. So if people die, you get your shields back, and that usually makes it so that you have to get shot 1 or 2 more times to die, which can be very annoying. He has cards that give him shield if he nullifies someone, which again is very annoying because that can give him those extra shots. And I mean, I wouldn't say this, I don't like to speak for the community, but I can see a lot of people not liking that. I really can. So Torvald, he's a good frontline, and he's an annoying character to fight. He can stop characters like Xin and a lot of that other stuff. So he's pretty good. Next, frontline. We have Ruckus. Now, Ruckus is amazing. Okay. On the fighting tier lists, I have him at A. But I'll get into that later in a newer video. Ruckus, he's a very good frontline. He deals tons of damage. He has very good card combinations like the triple missile legendary and that legendary, or that regular card that makes him heal when he uses missile, and that other card, I think it's called Air Cold, that makes him heal when he does advance. So you could pretty much advance, heal for 100, shoot your missiles, heal for 100, advance, heal for 100, shoot your missiles, heal for 100, shoot your missiles, heal for 100. So he doesn't really need support. He's got health per second when he uses his Warden's Field. That's another really good card. He's got Metal March that gives him damage reduction when he uses missiles. And he's got Proximity, which gives him damage reduction when he uses advance. So he's really good. He does a lot of damage. He's a really good fighter. But as a frontline, he's not too amazing. He can't shield his teammates. And when the team goes after them, he's pretty much dead. Especially when he gets stunned. You can get resilience, but then you're risking Haven, and he's one of those characters that could really use Haven since he doesn't have an actual a well blocking shield. He's got a health shield, which is bad because that means characters like Makoa can grab him, pull him in, and he's gone. That's it. So next on the frontline tier list, we have Ashe. Ashe is really powerful. Kami VS makes Ashe look really good. But Ashe is very well frontline. She can, put down these high health shields that move, which that's kind of a plus and a minus at the same time. There will be some certain points where you do want it to move to block those slow bullets and have the end result as a slow bullet being a little bit before than what it should have been, or a little bit behind its own trail, so that it would take a little bit longer to hit a target. Ashe's shield has a ton of health. I find me putting it down and having the whole team shoot at it and it still not break, even though some of them have Wrecker, especially if you have Fortress Breaker. Her shield with Fortress Breaker is extreme. She has really good cards, like that Siege Engine card, or whatever it's called, where you hit people with Kinetic Burst, reduces the cooldown of Siege Shield. She has that Brawl. Sorry about that. She has that Brawl card, which really helps. She has Thrive, Vanguard. She has a lot of really good cards, and her viability is very high up there. She's one of those characters that can not only do well by themselves and not need a front line, but she can also get rid of people in one move, pushing them off the stage. She can also get on the point very quickly after being knocked off of her horse with a very quick dash, and that dash deals a lot of damage. It says it deals 700, but you can combo it into a 1500 combo. That's a lot of damage. And combo secret here, this is actually my Ashe combo. I don't think a lot of people have done this, so if anyone does this, I'd like to say this is the first video talking about it. Ashe has a combo where you can charge up your Kinetic Burst, channel your Shoulder Bash. This is where the combo starts. Once you hit someone with Shoulder Bash, dealing 700 damage, hit them with Kinetic Burst. I'm sure it deals around 500 if I remember, somewhere around that. So that's, already 1,200 damage. As soon as your Kinetic Burst hits, and it's important to use Kinetic Burst instead of a basic attack, because Kinetic Burst is instant and it can instantly be cancelled. So once you hit with Kinetic Burst, the first few frames, use your ult and make sure you have Insert Dominance. Your ult will then hit your enemy, stunning them. And if they have resilience, they can get out of this combo. But if they don't, they'll get stunned, and you can just directly hit them with your basic attack for about 2-3 shots, and that basic attack deals about 400 damage. So you're looking at a 2k plus damage combo with Ashe, and that makes her a really good fighter, frontline in general. So number 2 in the frontline list, we have Inara. A lot of people say Inara is the number 1 frontline. I'll get into why I didn't put her in number 1. So Inara, she has a very high chance of not being broken wall that can last, and she has a card that makes it last longer. I have not confirmed the health of this wall since it doesn't show it, but I'm sure it's it's just so much, like probably 6,000 or something. She has a card that can make her wall have damage reduction, which is very, that's a very good trait. That's a really, really good trait. She has Warden's Field, which, you know, is good on its own, slows enemies. She has a card that makes it so you gain damage reduction, which is really good. She's got that Earthen Guard, which gives her CC immunity and damage reduction, which is, again, really good. She has, in terms of being a frontline, she's really good. As I said, the wall can block people. The wall is also really good because you can block people from contesting the payload, pushing it in, or you can, you know, block enemies from getting the point. Like, you can do a lot of things with her wall. You can push people off stage with her wall. So, you know, she's got a lot of viability. She's got healing cards, so she doesn't need a support. In fact, she's extremely hard to kill, even with the whole team just grouped up on her. She's extremely hard to kill. I remember back in OB63, she was my #1 favorite frontline because of that reason. Her damage is moderate. So that's basically it with her. Then we have Fernando. Now Fernando, yeah, in terms of being a frontline, he's amazing. In terms of a fighter, he's not too amazing. So Fernando, he has that formidable legendary, and this legendary makes him one of the best frontlines in the game, because once he drops below 40% health, he gets that extreme healing that can sometimes be considered uncauterizable, because you can cauterize it, but the healing is so much. Even at 90% reduced healing, it just goes. It just completely fills the bar. Not completely, but, you know, enough for you to survive. He's got Last Stand, which heals him by a lot when he puts a shield down. Even at the OB64/65 level 4, it's still very amazing. He's got health shield cards, which are also very amazing in this update. Yeah, one of my favorite cards is Heat Transfer. You get a dash again after they hit your shield too many times. It reduces the cooldown, and I can give myself that health shield with the dash. That's also very good. He's good at saving teammates, like holding his shield up, dashing in front of a dying teammate, and blocking extra damage. So in terms of being a frontline and doing his job, he is the #1 character. The #1 frontline in the game. So with that said, oh wait, there should be some other things to add about Fernando. His pyre goes through a lot of things. It doesn't go through shields, but it goes through characters, deployables. So his pyre is very good, especially if there's like a Barrack and an Nara on the enemy team, and they just kind of put down their deployables. Grok puts down his deployables too. Your flame will hit everything, so that's good. And he has a fireball that can pierce through a ton of enemies and hitting almost everything in his path. And like, add that up, the fireball card, sometimes you kill a person in the back in a single hit. That's really great because their team is completely weakened and he can destroy. So he works as a good frontline, and even with a damage class, he's still a very good frontline nonetheless. If you go damage class, that puts him, you know, a bit down on the tier list, maybe around the Koa level, but he's still really good as damage, and he's the best when it comes to being a frontline. So that's the frontline tier list by me. Now, as said, further construction may be considered, but for now, that's the tier list. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.